3 years ago, South Africa introduced Africa's first major tax on sugar-sweetened beverages, and health experts have been lobbying for an increase. This can, however, be detrimental to the sugar industry. So where's the sweet spot between having healthy people but also supporting this agricultural industry? Thomas Funke from the SA Canegrowers shed some light on this. After that, we get to meet Agri Eastern Cape's Young Farmer of the Year, Duncan Currie. But first, over to Lisa for the latest agricultural news.
Elanco, we are driven by our vision of food and companionship, enriching life.
In today's news, the South African Hunters and Game Conservation Association, or SA Hunters, has established a vulture heritage site to raise awareness regarding the decline in vulture numbers. This comes as the world celebrates International Vulture Awareness Day tomorrow. Landowners will now be able to support vulture conservation by protecting breeding sites, securing safe feeding and drinking sites, and monitoring birds that visit their farms. In return, SA Hunters will provide landowners with a certificate of recognition for their participation in vulture conservation. Interested landowners may register their land as vulture heritage sites at no cost. Registration can be through SA Hunters. And a hike in the health promotion levy will have a detrimental impact on the 1 million people who rely on the sugar industry for income. This is according to the South African Cane Growers Association, who reacted on the Healthy Living Alliance's request to national government to double the so-called sugar tax. A report commissioned by the National Economic Development and Labour Council shows that in the first year of the implementation of sugar tax, a total of 16,621 jobs were lost across the sugar industry. In addition, some 9,000 job losses were recorded in the cane growing sector alone. Stay tuned for an interview with Thomas Funke just after the break. And animal health company Zoetis recently donated more than 400,000 Rand to the newly established Agri Relief Foundation. The foundation is a non-profit organization established to support producers in times of need. The foundation will facilitate funding based on product sales, other performance-based methodologies, or donations. It will start accepting applications for assistance as of 1 January 2022. Plaas TV spoke to Anton Niemann, a director of the foundation, and Dr. Ralph Patselt of Zoetis at the handover. Let's hear what they had to say.
Joining me now is Anton Niemann. He is one of the directors of the Agri Relief Foundation. Anton, we've already got so many companies and individuals assisting agriculture in need. What makes this initiative different?
Yeah. Lisa, I would start by saying that, I think I've said it before, that agriculture needs all the support it can get, given the circumstance we have with agriculture in this country, which is one of the key industries, of course, for the South African economy. I would say what make us maybe a bit different from others, and again, we need to support each other in every bit of support we can give to farmers. I think it's the principle of maybe agility. We know with AgriBonus, with their members, their partners, we probably have about up to 20 national partners which give us a footprint across the country, allowing us to identify, I think, very quickly, where the need is coming from. So I think that is what makes us different, perhaps, is that we can actually get to support a particular farmer and his family or her family a lot quicker.
Anton, let's use an example. I mean, we've had the devastating fires in the Free State. How will you help there, for instance?
So, I mean, we're going to have, obviously, as the board of directors, we've got a duty of oversight in terms of governance, how this money will be applied. And we certainly will have criteria on which basis we will allocate the necessary funds or the required funds. But that's a good example. So with a fire starting or happening in the Free State, with the feet that we have on ground, people moving around within the communities, we can get that feedback a lot quicker. Agility is the key word. So, we will come together, we will look at all the different cases coming to our table, and we will apply, as far as we, obviously, fairness in the allocation and obviously treat each case on its merit, and be quick to support the farmer, because the need is needed now, not 2 and 3 weeks from the event. So I think that's what's making us very different, and we can act a lot quicker.
And will the assistance be in various forms? I mean, financially, perhaps on a more social side. Give us an example of that.
So certainly, I mean, as we've seen with Joitas now with the first financial contribution, but we've also said that, the foundation is also depending on other support, on other donations, in kind, in product, in whatever. So we will apply the situation, we'll look at the situation that we have, and then we will, it's not necessarily only a financial contribution. We will look at all other support that we can support the farmers with need.
Well, that's more about the Agri Relief Foundation, but stay with us. Shortly we'll be talking to Joitas, seeing that we are at their offices to find out how they are involved. And now with me is Dr. Ralph Patzelt, and we're going to find out how Joitas is involved. Yes, that's the question, Ralph. How are you involved? I mean, we're here today, and you already gave this Relief Foundation a huge amount.
Yeah, no, we are involved. It all started with our long-term partner, Agri, where we have been the only animal health company that has been part of that amazing loyalty program for many years. And then we were approached and informed about the Agri Relief Foundation. And it is very much aligned with our international drive to support people that care for animals. We have an international campaign under the umbrella of Driven to Care that addresses a lot of those aspects, where we help communities, we help farmers, but we also care for the environment and animals as such. So the alignment with our strategic desire to help farmers came in handy at this point, and we immediately took the opportunity. What we then pledged is for the 3 most successful brands that we sell to farmers through the Co-op channel in South Africa, which is our antibiotic Terramycin, and 2 antiparasitic products. One is Dectomax, and the other one is Cydectin. All the farmers will be familiar with those products. We have pledged for the 500 ml bottles that we sell of each of those products. Those are also the most commonly used ones. We will give 10 Rand back to the Agri Relief Foundation. So we today took stock for this business year. It started on the 1st of December for us, our business year, and at the end of October now, we are 9 months in, so 3 quarters of a year. And we're proud to say that we already have a donation for the Agri Relief Foundation that is more than 460,000 rands. So we are very happy to be part of it, and very proud to be the only animal health company that has this opportunity to help.
And what do you think does this mean to the farmer who actually buys that product?
Yeah, obviously, all that money goes directly back to farmers in need. And the beauty here is that the farmers can, through the purchase of medicines that they need anyway, decide whether they want to contribute and directly help other farmers by buying those products that are part of our pledge for the Agri Relief Foundation.
And I know AgriBonus have many partners, so perhaps you should challenge other people to do the same.
We will definitely do that, and we are very keen to do anything that it takes to make this worthy course more successful, so that we are 100% behind the Agri Relief Foundation, and we want to be partners in that venture for many years to come.
Oh, there we are. That's Rita's involvement on the Agri Relief Foundation. Public health scholars and the Healthy Living Alliance, or HELA, recently called for national government to double the sugar tax, which caused an outcry in the industry. Thomas Funke, CEO of the Canegrowers Association, joins us now to shed some light on the matter. Thomas, what would the motivation behind this request be?
That's perhaps a question that you would have to ask HELA. As to what they're trying to do. For us, it was also quite a shock. We know that with the master plan process in the sugar industry, there has been a moratorium on the HPL and not to increase that any further for a 3-year period. Largely because it's under question and the impact and the success of it is still being investigated. What we have seen is a NEDLAC report. And some of those figures that are in that report, it's publicly available, are very disturbing in terms of the job losses and the revenue loss to the various industries.
Now, the sugar industry is already struggling. What impact would this have on the industry?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I mean, we've had droughts, we've had spikes in imports that have eroded our local market share. More recently, we've had the unrest that has caused 500,000 tons of sugarcane to be burnt in arson attacks, of which 140,000 tons had to be thrown away or dumped because they didn't make it to the mill in time. So we've come through a very rough period. We were hoping that 2021 was going to be a good year, but it's turning out to be quite a challenging year, to say the least. The milling performance hasn't been great either in the industry, so a lot of cane is probably not going to be crushed this year and will have to stand over for the next season, and hopefully it'll find a mill then. So lots of challenges on the go at the moment, and this a doubling of this tax, this HPL, would be devastating to the industry and would cause even more job losses at a time when we are very fragile. And I think the South African economy is very fragile. And that's when we can least afford more unemployment in the economy.
Thomas, what impact has the implementation of the sugar tax had on the industry thus far?
Yeah, the NEDLAC report, which was done independently by consultants, was very telling in that regard. It highlighted the impact of the lost revenue in hundreds of millions of rands to the cane growing sector. For the cane growing sector alone, it was something like 414 million rand in 2019 alone. I've extrapolated some of those figures, and for the sector as a whole, we're looking at a 1.5 billion rand loss in revenue every year to where we were in previous years. So that is massive. And if you double the tax, it'll mean that BEVSAs or beverage companies, members of BEVSA, will just increase their rate of reformulation, which means they would buy even less and less sugar, meaning that we have to export the sugar at a loss onto the world market. And losing more and more revenue, which puts cane farming and cane milling under severe pressure, and that results in job losses. So a doubling of this tax will have a devastating impact on the sector.
So where's the sweet spot between the health of the people and the survival of the industry?
Yeah, that's also a good question, and I'm not going to profess to be an expert in that field. So what we promote as the sugar industry and as cane growers in particular is a healthy lifestyle, an active lifestyle, consumption and moderation. But what is at our heart of our existence are the rural livelihoods, the small-scale growers that are our members that live in rural KZN, and sugarcane is the only business that they have. And if we're going to put them at risk and their families, as well as the commercial cane farmers and their farm workers, then we need to stand up to this, and we need to make it known that we cannot afford to have more job losses. We cannot afford to have the rural KZN going into an economic decline and unemployment, because that'll just increase crime and it'll be devastating for South Africa as a whole. And that's what we're promoting here. We're saying enough is enough. The tax is there, the HPL is there. We've stomached those losses, but we cannot afford an increase in that in the future.
Our thanks to the CEO of the Cane Growers Association, Thomas Funke.
Goeiemôre kykers. In die kommoditeitsmarkverslag kan daar gesien word dat rooi vleispryse redelik gemeng getoon het vir week 34 van die jaar. A2 beeskarkaspryse het basies onveranderd gebly met 'n klein styging van 0.4%, terwyl die C2 karkasse goed gestyg het met 2.6%. Speenkalvers is slegs 0.3% duurder. Skaapvleis aanbetref het A2 lamkarkasse se prys met 0.4% gedaal, terwyl C2 is 0.6% duurder is en die speenlamprys het verder gedaal met 1.1%. Varkvleis is ook 0.3% goedkoper. Wolveiling van hierdie week het 1.6% gedaal teenoor die vorige veiling, terwyl daar geen bokhaarveiling was nie. Wat grane aanbetref, 'n skerp daling in die prys van geelmielies van 7.7% in die naaste maandprys. Koring wat bietjie op is teen 2.2%, terwyl oliesade ook swaar getrek het met die sojaboonprys wat 5.6% laer is en die sonneblomprys 3.1% laer. Die rand het egter goed gedoen teenoor vernaamste wisselkoerse, 3.8% sterker teenoor die dollar en 3.2% sterker teenoor die euro.
On the 18th of August, during the Agri Eastern Cape's annual Congress, the 41-year-old Duncan Currie from Cathcart was named the 2021 Agri Eastern Cape Toyota Young Farmer of the Year, and he joins us now. Duncan, congratulations. You are a fifth-generation farmer on the farm Lindisfarne in Cathcart, but your life made a few detours before you joined your family on the farm again. Tell us briefly about that.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to study at Sarsfield, and part of our Sarsfield training we had to do a year's practical. So I was very lucky. I was one of two students that was chosen to go to the UK, and I worked on a soft fruit farm there. And after completion of my studies, completion of working there, I came back, finished my studies, and then after my studies, I went back. I was offered a manager's post there. I went back and I was the packhouse manager for the farm for 3 years, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then from there, I moved on as a technical manager to another soft fruit packhouse, Winterwood Farm in Kent. And there, yeah, it was very interesting. It's one of the biggest soft fruit packhouses in the UK and the world. So it was something totally different for me, but very interesting. And yeah, I learned a lot. It was very, very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. And then an opportunity arose back in South Africa, and that's when I came back after 6 years in the UK, plus the 1 year practical.
So you always wanted to be a farmer?
From as far as I can remember. As a little boy, I was always out on the farm with my dad. Monday mornings back to boarding school was always a very hard day. So yeah, as far as I can remember, I've just always wanted to farm, everything that we revolve around the farm.
Now let's talk about the farm or the business. When you returned to the farm in 2009, what did the business consist of, or what did you farm with at that stage?
So because it's generational, I mean, it's pretty much been sheep and cattle. My dad started a small dairy. So when I came back, it was still sheep, cattle, and a small dairy. So yeah, that's what it's always been.
And since then, how has it expanded?
So since then, I mean, I came back. Like I said, there was opportunity on higher ground. So I came back. We increased our cattle herd due to the fact that changing in certain management systems and things, we've managed to increase our sheep numbers by about 40%, and we've doubled our cattle numbers. So although we're still doing what we've done over many generations, we've just managed to increase the numbers and farm more efficiently. And then I also, with my knowledge from berries in the UK, I planted 4 hectares of blueberries in a joint venture with my cousin. I'm a firm believer that challenges also give you opportunities. And in one of our first and second years, when we should have had a crop, we were hit by hail and by frost. So then we diverted the berry business and started buying fruit in. And I've since handed over. My wife runs the business. It's a registered business, Hogsback Berries. And we sell fresh blueberries, but we also sell a range of frozen berries and nuts, all locally produced nuts in South Africa. And we've just added artisanal jams to it, homemade jams. So from my experience in the UK, obviously in the UK, I worked a lot with the supermarkets. So I didn't want to have to do anything with supermarkets in South Africa. So it's basically a mobile shop, if I can call it that. The fruit goes from the farm to the housewife or to whoever's buying it. We're not big into wholesale. It's pretty much from the farm to the housewife or to the end producer, the end user.
What breed of cattle and sheep, Duncan?
So sheep, interesting, we predominantly merino. 90% of our sheep are merino. Then 10% is Dormer. The Dormer is also something that I added. My great-grandfather brought in Dorsets in 1948. And I've always loved them from when I was a kid. I was always out tagging them and writing records, keeping my own notebooks. And it was something I was really passionate about. So when I came back, I tried to look for Dorset blood in South Africa, but it just wasn't practical and there were no breeders. I then looked at importing semen. And at the end of the day, the Dormer is 50% Dorset. So I decided to register it and use that bloodline and use the appendix system and upgrade them. So now I've got a Dormer stud. So yeah, the stud is only 10%, but it also produces rams for myself that I use on a crossbreeding onto the merinos as well. So merinos is the main thing, and then the Dormers there. And then cattle, we do a 3-way cross for weaner production. It's Hereford, Angus, and Shorthorn 3-way cross. Yeah, so again, I think coming from a generational farm, most of the things are in place already. It's what you can tweak and what you can change to become more productive and more efficient. So I was very lucky from that point of view that the groundwork had been done and it was just like adding some basics to improve things. I've upgraded our sharing shed to a raised platform, but I've also at the same time done it that it does all our sheep facilities are there. We can scan, we can share, obviously share there, scan, laparoscope, we dip, we do everything out of that one facility. So that's been a great improvement. And then also on the facilities, the working facilities, I've redone all the cattle facilities and sheep facilities, we've fixed them up as well. Yeah, if the animals are relaxed and working easily, and then your staff are relaxed, and you're far more productive and efficient. So facilities has been a big thing for me. And then I've also, other things changed on the farm or upgraded a bit, is irrigation, and all of my stuff is to try and be more efficient and more productive at the same time. With the same manpower, what can we do more with the same people?
Now, Duncan, a farm is a business, and a business consists of a team. Now, in your part of the world, I'm sure you have people that have worked with you and the family for many years. Tell us about the team.
Yeah, so in the rural Eastern Cape, obviously it is a team. It's a very big team thing. The staff live on the property, so they're part of the family. They're here 24/7. So I've got a family members that are all work together, fathers, sons. It's generational, not only on my side, but a lot of my staff as well. So it's great from that point of view, where even the employees' knowledge is passed on from one generation to the next. So yeah, it's a big family, and with that comes all the joys of them living on the farm. But also what I do like about it is we know all the staff members, their wives, their children, we know everyone. So yeah, it's a big family, and it's a team effort. That's the key. And the nice thing about having them on the property too is when there are fires or emergencies, everyone is here, and within minutes we can react. So there again, it's a team effort. Nobody complains. They're all happy to get in and sort the problem out.
How involved are you in the community and organized agriculture?
So yeah, I mean, my wife says I spend a lot more time at meetings than farming, but that's what comes with the territory. I'm the vice chairman of the Farmers Association. I've been on the CPF, Hogsback Police Forum, for 8 years now. I've done 2 years as chairman, and I'm on the Community Security Forum as well. So I think the main thing is that with farmers becoming less and less, the community is getting smaller. We've got to do more and more ourselves. And we're very privileged in the community we live in. Everyone is like-minded. Everyone gets in, helps each other, and we get the job done. So to me, it's get in and do the job. Don't expect somebody else to do it for you, and you'll reap the rewards. So,
Duncan, thank you. And in closing, you're a family man, and you have time for hobbies?
Yeah, so my wife and I have got a little 5-month-old baby boy, Jason. Sarah and I have got a boy, Jason. And yeah, my parents still live on the farm. My aunt and uncle farm pretty close to us. So weekends we spend doing what most South Africans like doing, watching rugby, having a braai and a beer. And being a small community and close-knit, we often get roped into playing cricket or golf or something on a Saturday. And yeah, it's just lovely being part of an awesome community.
Those were the words from Duncan Currie. He was named the 2021 Agri Eastern Cape Young Farmer of the Year.
AGT Foods Africa, from producer to the world.
Die groot ding van daai tye is dat dit ons wys waarvan ons gemaak is. Of ons murg in ons pype het, of ons sterk genoeg is, of ons genoeg omgee. Daar gaan altyd daai tye wees. Maar die groot ding van daai tye is dat dit ons net taaier maak. Ons stel bekend die selfs nog taaier Hilux reeks en die splinternuwe Hilux Legend.